White rice has often been dismissed in modern nutrition as little more than a source of empty carbs, a refined grain stripped of fiber and nutrients, blamed for blood sugar spikes, weight gain, and metabolic disease. In the age of low-carb diets, glycemic index charts, and whole grain campaigns, white rice has come to symbolize what many believe is wrong with a modern diet: too much starch, not enough fiber, and minimal nutritional value. Yet this reputation doesn't hold up when we look at real-world health outcomes, particularly in populations where white rice is a daily staple. In fact, when consumed in moderation and within a balanced diet, white rice can be a highly functional food, one that supports digestion, provides clean energy, and contributes to some of the healthiest dietary patterns in the world, including the traditional Japanese and Okinawan diets. One of the main arguments against white rice is that it's a refined grain, meaning the bran and germ have been removed during processing. This does reduce its fiber, vitamin, and mineral content compared to brown rice or other whole grains. However, this processing also makes white rice significantly easier to digest, which can be an advantage in certain contexts. For individuals with sensitive digestive systems, gastrointestinal disorders, or recovering from illness, white rice is often one of the few starches that can be tolerated well. It's gentle on the stomach, low in anti-nutrients like phytic acid, which can block mineral absorption, and rarely causes bloating or gas. This makes it an excellent base for meals that include nutrient-dense foods like vegetables, legumes, fermented products, and lean proteins. White rice is also an extremely versatile and culturally significant food. In many parts of Asia, it forms the backbone of dietary patterns that are associated with long life expectancy, low rates of obesity, and reduced incidence of chronic disease. The Japanese diet, which is consistently linked to high health span and low mortality from cardiovascular disease, features white rice at nearly every meal. But it's not consumed in isolation. It's typically paired with fish, seaweed, pickled vegetables, tofu, miso soup, and green tea, creating a balanced plate that offsets any potential glycemic impact of the rice alone. In this context, white rice is not a problem. It's part of a carefully structured pattern of eating that promotes both health and longevity. Modern studies suggest that the health effects of white rice are heavily influenced by what it's eaten with. When white rice is consumed alongside fiber-rich vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats, its impact on blood sugar is blunted considerably. Additionally, the method of preparation and storage can alter its nutritional properties. Cooked and cooled white rice undergoes a process called starch retrogradation, which increases its content of resistant starch, a type of carbohydrate that resists digestion in the small intestine and instead acts like fiber, feeding beneficial gut bacteria. This means that dishes like sushi rice, rice salads, or leftover rice stored in the fridge may actually have a lower glycemic effect and offer additional digestive benefits compared to freshly cooked, piping hot white rice. Another overlooked benefit of white rice is its role as a clean, low-allergen carbohydrate source. Unlike wheat or other gluten-containing grains, rice is naturally gluten-free and rarely triggers food sensitivities. It's also low in FODMAPs, fermentable oligo-D, monosaccharides, and polyols, making it suitable for people with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, or those following a low FODMAP diet. For individuals struggling to find energy-dense foods that don't irritate their digestive system, white rice can be a gentle and effective solution. White rice also serves an important function in fueling physical performance. Its rapid digestibility and simple carbohydrate profile make it an ideal source of energy before or after workouts, particularly for athletes or highly active individuals who need fast replenishment of glycogen stores. While whole grains are generally more nutrient-dense, they're also slower to digest, which can be a downside when quick energy or rapid recovery is the goal. This has made white rice a favorite among endurance athletes, bodybuilders, and fitness professionals who value it for its reliability, digestibility, and neutral flavor. Importantly, the health risks sometimes associated with white rice, such as increased risk of type 2 diabetes in some studies, are context-dependent. These risks often emerge in populations with low physical activity levels, high overall caloric intake, or diets overloaded with refined carbs and sugars. In contrast, in traditional societies where physical activity is high and meals are cooked from whole ingredients, white rice does not appear to carry the same metabolic burden. In fact, some of the world's longest living populations eat white rice daily without experiencing the chronic disease rates seen in more industrialized diets. Ultimately, the demonization of white rice reflects a broader trend in nutrition, oversimplifying food into good or bad categories without considering cultural context, preparation methods, and dietary patterns as a whole. Yes, white rice is low in fiber and can spike blood sugar if eaten in large amounts by itself, but that's rarely how it's eaten in traditional health-supporting diets. When portioned sensibly and combined with nutrient-rich ingredients, it becomes a functional, easy to digest, and culturally grounding food that has nourished billions for centuries. The case for white rice, then, is not a nostalgic or cultural defense, it's a scientific one. It is a neutral canvas that, when paired intelligently with vegetables, protein, and healthy fats, becomes part of a nutrient-dense and metabolically supportive meal. Rather than viewing white rice as an enemy of health, it's more accurate to see it as a flexible foundation, one that can work for or against wellness depending on what surrounds it. In moderation and in balance, white rice deserves its place at the table, not as an indulgence, but as a staple with staying power.